Welcome, everyone. Today is August 8th, 2024, and welcome back to class. We are going to be introducing Microsoft Word today, and we're looking forward to this class. We'll get this posted up onto our YouTube page within the next 48 hours or so, but we'll go ahead and get started. Let me just send a quick message over to IO. We got one more person that wants to get added to the WhatsApp group. Yep, perfect. And so today we're going to be talking about Microsoft Word, everyone. Most of you may be familiar with Microsoft Word, you may not. Let me share my screen so we can see exactly what we're going to be talking about today. So I just went to the Microsoft.com website here just to take a look with you all at what we're going to be doing. So here on Microsoft Word, so you can purchase Microsoft Word or Microsoft Office, now known as Microsoft 365. You can purchase it for about $100 a year. You do have to pay for it. It's a productivity suite. So Microsoft 365 is what most companies use to do different tasks in their offices. Things like writing letters is Microsoft Word, or making flyers, making a calendar, writing a resume, writing a report. Maybe you're writing a report about something. Maybe you're writing a contract. And anything that you're writing on paper normally is going to be done in Microsoft Word, which is part of Microsoft 365. And so I'll just show you here. So Microsoft Word is what we're going to be working in for the next month or so. Once we're done with that, we'll move into Excel. Excel is about using numbers and it has spreadsheets, so numbers that are organized into columns and rows, and you can figure out all types of data. You can look at sales numbers and average those numbers or count them, all types of stuff you can do in Excel. Excel is a very powerful resource that a lot of folks use in their businesses. And in corporate America, we should all be using Excel, or at least be familiar with it, because it's a tool that you'll use in most places. Microsoft Outlook is also part of Office 365, and Microsoft Outlook is used for managing your email. Yeah, you manage your calendar through there, different tasks, and keep your contacts in there, that type of stuff. But it's primarily used for business email. I work in corporate America during the day, 9 to 5, and I use Microsoft Outlook all day. I'll also use Microsoft Word and Excel all day. And so today, again, we're going to be introducing you to Microsoft 365, but specifically Microsoft Word. So I'll go ahead and share my screen over here. All right, you guys should all see my screen now. And just a couple of the things that we want to work through today is going to be, let's see, I got somebody in the waiting room. Just let them in. So a couple of things that we're going to work through today is we're going to just, again, introduce you to Word, talk a little bit about what it does. I'm going to show you how to open up Microsoft Word once you get it installed on your computer, how to close Microsoft Word. We're going to talk about how to resize the window and things like that, because sometimes you want to multitask when you're on your computer and you don't want the window that you're working in to take it all up. So I'll show you guys how to do that. We're going to look at using Microsoft templates. And Microsoft templates is nothing more than, right, like who likes to start something from scratch, right? If you're going to make a calendar, maybe there's already a template that Microsoft Word created, and you can just click a button, it'll create the calendar, and then you can just edit it and clean it up and make it how you want it. You don't have to start from scratch, right? Maybe you want to create a resume. And again, you don't want to start from scratch because sometimes it's hard to get going, but having a template and I know Microsoft Word has many, many, many templates for resumes specifically, and you can use that to start your resume, right? It'll get you started, and then you just change the word to make it applicable to you, and you have a nice, pretty resume. So we'll talk about going through Microsoft Word templates. And then lastly, we're just going to spend some time. You should see, I'm not really showing much right now. I'm just kind of talking. It should just say like, see like flowers, Florence. So hopefully you see that. I think can you guys confirm that you can see my screen? It's just flowers, like a flower bed, flower farm. Yes. Okay. Great. And then the last thing that we're
Yes, I can
going
see the flower.
Oh, good. Yes, yes. I'm just talking right now. I'll start demonstrating here shortly. And then the last thing we're going to go through is I will show you around Microsoft Word, the different parts of the window and what they do. And then we'll do a little bit of kind of exercises together as a group in the end. And we'll be done by 7 o'clock at the latest. And again, I do appreciate you guys taking the time to invest in yourself on a Thursday evening, beautiful Thursday evening, where you could be a lot of different places. But I just really appreciate you guys taking some time to invest in yourselves this evening. So with that, we'll go ahead and get started. So as you see my screen, there's a couple different ways to open up Microsoft Word. I'm actually close this thing out. So normally you can start here in the search, or you can come here to the start button. So in Windows, you have a start button here, and you can hit that start button, and oftentimes it'll be right here. There's an icon for it. You can see there's many icons that I have. So I could just click that icon to open up Microsoft Word, and you can see that it opens up here, and I have all kinds of old things that I've been working on here, and so those are there. I'm going to close that back out. Another way to access Microsoft Word is down here at the bottom. Many of you on your computers or computers that you use elsewhere, uh, there may be a menu here at the bottom that has some different buttons, and you can see that I have Microsoft Word here, so I could just always click it just there too. It'll open up. And then the last way is just using a search engine here. So this will search your computer. You can type anything in here. If you don't remember where it is on your computer, you know you have it somewhere, but you're like, I don't know where it's at. I don't know where to find it. You can always just come here to this search, and you can just type in WORD. And when you do that, you can see that it gives you Microsoft Word app. And you can just hit open, and it opens up Microsoft Word. Notice that it opens in a window, right? So I can move this window around. I can resize this window. Right now, this is taking up, oh, I don't know, a third of my screen, maybe about half of the screen. And sometimes you want to take up more of the screen. That's when you would use this maximize button right here. So if I click that button, you can see that now it takes up the entire screen. And if I go back to that button, it's now toggled. So if I hit it now, it'll shrink it back to the size it was previously. So again, this is what we call a toggle button. It's kind of like a light switch at your house. So it goes on and off, right? So on makes it big, click it one more time, it goes back to shrinking. You can also resize this window if you put your cursor. So this is my mouse and my cursor here on the screen. If I move my mouse just to the edge of this window, again, this is the window that I'm moving here. If I move my mouse just to the edge of this window, you can see that I can then make it larger. So I can click and hold, and as I'm holding, when I release, it'll stop and it's stretching it out. So I can stretch it in this way. I can click and hold to stretch it out. Notice that my cursor turns into that kind of double arrow. I can do the same thing from the top and the bottom. So I there brought it down. I can shrink it up. Or lastly, you can do it from a corner. So if I come here to this corner, notice that my arrow now changes to that kind of diagonal double arrow. So now if I click and hold, I can go up and out. So I can shrink it and enlarge it in both directions. So whatever you want to do, because sometimes you maybe want to have a couple things on your screen, that's completely fine. And then of course this here, right next to the maximize button, you have this button which will minimize it. So minimize, you would use that if you want to keep your work open, whatever you're doing in Microsoft Word open, but you don't want to completely close it out. Maybe you're just shrinking it to get it out of the way for a few seconds because you need to work on something else, and then you want to open it right back up. So if I hit that, it goes down here, and you can see that I have a little dot under the W for Microsoft Word. So I can just click it and it comes right back up. Okay. So let's go ahead and look at some of the things that we can do once we get Microsoft Word open. So as you can see, I have recent documents here, and it shows all the recent documents that I've opened up. You can see that I've opened up some documents 34 minutes ago. I opened up some documents on Thursday, some things on Tuesday, etc. and we can see all those things. If I wanted to open any of these up, all I have to do is just click one button and it'll open right up. So let's say I wanted to open up family task list. I just click it one time. Let's go to full screen and we can see here that I have a chart and this was my kids' chores for a week, right? And this is a perfect example of a template. I did not create this from scratch. This was created from a template that Microsoft Word has in it where you can just again plug in names. All of this was made. I just added the task and I put the names. That was pretty much it, right? It wasn't really hard to do. So I'll go ahead and close this out. And again, to start a new file, we can go to File and then go to New. So notice that I have a lot of different options here. I have options for opening a blank document right here. So if I wanted to open a blank document, completely fine. You can start right there. That would be very much like sitting down in front of a notebook that has a blank page in front of you and you just start writing. Also, I have a calendar here. I have a template for a report. So the rest of these are templates, right? A calendar again, an agenda for a meeting, maybe a diploma certificate. I think this one's pretty cool. I've actually used this one when I hosted some training events and I issued certificates at the end of the training for those who attended. So these are all really nice templates. If you ever come into Microsoft Word and you want to find a template, you don't see it here when you open up Microsoft Word, you can also come here and search, or you can just click through the different types. So I'm clicked on business templates, and here you can see home-based professional services, business plan. Uh, you can see business cards. Let's see, what else do we have here? Small business startup checklist. Um, a client intake phone script, right? So how when you have new clients in your business, like how do you talk to them? What are the things that you want to do to bring them into your business and make sure that they get added to your email list and your phone number list and all those type of things. So again, a lot of this stuff is created. You really don't have to do many things from scratch, but you definitely can. So let's say again, you go back. Let's say you wanted to find a professional resume. I could just type in professional resume here, hit enter, and it comes up with several different templates for resumes. So let's say I like the one that this one here, just double click it, it downloads it, and of course you would just change the name, change the information, but you now have a template for your resume. Okay, close this one out. I am not going to save that. Okay, so again, I'm going to go File and I'm going to go Open. I'm going to do New and I'm going to do Blank. So let's just get oriented a little bit to our screen. So this is the document here, right? This is just like a big piece of paper. I just zoomed out a little bit. To zoom out, we have this area down here where we can zoom in and out. As you see, when I zoom out, the page gets smaller. As I zoom in, page gets a little bigger. I'm going to go to 70% so we can see the entire page. And you can see that I have a blinking cursor up here. So that is where, if I started to type, that's where the words would go and the letters. So let's say I started to say, welcome to class. Now it's small, so I'm going to zoom in so you guys can see. Let's go back and do that again. So again, you have your cursor here. I'm in the top left, and Microsoft Word works just like any other writing program, or even if you were writing on a piece of paper, it's always going to start in the top left. So I want to say, welcome to digital navigation class. Okay. And then up here, we have a lot of different things going on up here. So up here, we have our quick access toolbar. So as you can see, we have things like this is a undo arrow. So if I hit this, notice that as I put my mouse over this little button here, it says undo typing. So I'm going to click it a couple times and I want you to watch what happens to my words down here. Again, notice that the cursor, the blinking cursor here is right after class. So I'm going to hit back a few times and oh, it erased everything. But then if I said, ooh, I didn't actually want to erase everything, I can actually redo typing in this button. And all of these buttons here at the top, these will always be here. And again, this is called the Quick Access Toolbar. So the Quick Access Toolbar has things that no matter what you're doing in Microsoft Word, you could be, on all these different tabs here. These will always be up here. You have things like bold. So this B here is for making your letters bold. So you can see that I just made class bold. I could also change the color of the words. Let's say I want to make it red. There you go. You got red writing now. Or we can choose from the colors. So next to the A, so if I just hit this, it's just going to change it to red, right? So let's say I highlight digital, and then I come up here and I just click the A that's red, it's going to change those words to red. But if I highlight navigation and I come up here, and this time I don't click the red A, but I click that little down arrow next to it, that's going to give me the option to change it to a different language or a different color. I'm sorry. So here, font color. So font is everything to do with your letters. So what do your letters look like? How big are they? How small are they? Are they in bold? Do they have underline? Are they in italics? All those things like that. So I'm going to hit this down arrow. I notice now that I can go with any color that I want to, right? I can pick from these shades of blue, these shades of orange or green, purple. If you want more colors, you can even come here and you can pick from any color that's here in this kind of looks like a beehive, right? So let's say I want to go with this kind of blue. I could do that and I can hit OK and it changes it to blue. Okay. So again, this is the quick access toolbar up here. You can save. So this little disk here, this is your save button. So it'll save your work. Make sure that you use this often. I recommend saving at least every 10 to 15 minutes. If you don't have on autosave, which we won't talk about today, but that is a function that's available in Office 365. So you never have to worry about saving because it's going to auto save. Um, this is where you would open up a older document that you previously worked on. You could click this button to print. So if you wanted to print your document and review it, or you wanted to put it in mail, or wanted to deliver it to someone, you could print it. This is a new blank document, and then this one right here is to email your document. Okay. Are there any questions about this quick access toolbar at the top and what that's for? All right, great. So the next thing I want to show you guys is the tabs. So the tabs are these here. So home, insert, draw, design, layout, and we aren't going to go through all of these today, but the main ones are the ones like home. So what can we do here under home? So you see here we have it says Optos Body. So that is our font name. So again, the font is what do the actual characters that you're typing, what do they look like? And so let's play around with this font a little bit. So I'm going to highlight all the words I have, and I'm going to change the font. Notice that when I click that drop down menu, go currently, my current font is APTOS. But look here, I have Times New Roman. Did you notice how it, so I'm actually, I want to copy and paste this a couple times so you guys can compare. We're just going to do a couple different fonts here. So this first one is Times New Roman. Let's say I come to this one and I say I want to do Garmon. A little bit different. You can even see that it's a little bit smaller. Let's come here and we're going to pick, and you can see that there's a lot, right? Like, look at this list. This is a pretty big list. Let's say we do jumble. Okay. That one's pretty cool. That one looks like a kid writing or something, right? Let's go down and do this one here. Welcome to digital navigation. This one looks like cursive writing, right? This looks like a little bit fancier. And then let's come here and let's pick one more. I'm going to go down to the bottom. Let's see what we got. Uh, we'll do this one here. Okay. So you can see that not all of them look completely different. These two look pretty close, not a big difference, but you can tell that these bottom three, though, are quite different. So depending on the occasion, you would use a different font. Now, a normal font, if you're doing professional writing, is going to be either Times New Roman, size 12. The size is important, right? Because notice that I can go really big here. I can go with size 48 if I'm like entitling something. I can go to 24, but a normal typing in a letter is going to be around 12. Okay. So the normal font again is either Times New Roman or Arial. So one of these two here at the top. Okay. So again, so from the Home tab, we have things like changing our text font here. You can change the size here. You can also change the size here, these two buttons. So this will increase the font. This one will decrease the font. We can add some effects to our letters, like some shadows and things like that. Like that. Do one more. Like that. Okay. So that's pretty cool. If you wanted to like make a flyer or something, you might use some of these effects. You can come here, you can highlight. Again, you can change the color like we talked about earlier. Come here and change this color. Yeah, so we can change the color of the text. So there's a lot of things we can do. Well, we'll look at some of these other things under the Home tab. Again, these are the tabs here at the top. Um, okay. Okay. You can't, you say, can I reduce the size of my screen? You can't see a lot of what I'm showing. You might need to, let's see here. Can the rest of you guys see my entire screen? You should be able to see my entire screen. Okay.
Yeah, we were able to see your entire screen, but I don't know what's
Okay.
on the backboard.
Okay. Vivian, you might want to turn, I don't know if you're on a phone or something. You might need to turn your phone sideways so you get
No,
like the landscape.
I'm actually using a laptop, so I'm not
Huh.
seeing everything.
Hmm. Okay. You might need to zoom out or something. Sometimes if you get zoomed in, you'll only see a part of my screen. But I'm looking at what I'm sharing, and it looks like you all should be able to see my entire screen right now. Uh,
Mm.
so again, from the home screen, you can do all kinds of stuff with your fonts. You can also create lists. We won't look at these a lot today. These are going to be covered in a future lesson, making lists and things like that. One of my favorite things to actually do in Microsoft Word because I feel like it's easy to explain things to people when you give them steps. So we'll definitely cover that in a future lesson. You can also insert under insert, of course, what are you going to do with insert? You can insert pretty much anything you can think of, right? You can insert a photo right here. So let's say you have a photo on your device or stock images, or you can even sometimes find images online. So let's do online pictures, for instance. Just wait for that to load. So let's say you wanted to add a photo of the Olympics. Boom. Just grab that, hit insert, and there's your photo. So let's say you were making some kind of a flyer. You could add this photo in and you're good to go. You got your photo of the Olympics right there. Okay. So all kinds of fun stuff you can do. You can add photos from your computer. So any photo you've ever taken on your phone or on any device, you can email it to yourself. Just got to figure out how to get it on your device. And then once it's on your device or on the cloud somewhere, you can then add it to the document. So it's really fun when you start getting creative with adding photos and things. It livens up your presentation or your Word document in this case. Let's see. You can also add shapes. We won't do a lot of that. You can add comments. So let's say you're writing a document and someone has asked you to review it and give them feedback. You can do comments, which is a really nice function. You can just highlight and say comment, and then you can say, "Hey, I like how you used different colors here. Can we apply this to the rest of the document?" And hit send. And then it'll leave that comment for the person that owns the document. and then they can, take that, comment that you left or not and do what they want to with it. But it's an easy way to collaborate on documents when you can leave notes for people about things you like, things you don't like, when you're collaborating on a team to write a particular document about something. Okay, I'll leave that alone for now. So that's the insert one. Let's go over to design. This is going to be an important one. Let's see here. My tab is missing one. Let's just see here. I'm looking at the photo you just sent, Joe. Oh, okay. Yeah, your upper tab is missing some things. Yes. So you can add some things. Thank you for pointing that out. You're exactly right. So everyone up here at the top on this quick access toolbar, Joe was just letting me know that he was missing. His didn't look like mine. I have quite a bit of things up here. This is, you can customize this. That's why. And you can customize it right here. So I have these things, but if there were some things I wanted to add, or if I wanted to take some of these off of my quick access toolbar, I could just come here to this little down arrow where it says customize quick access toolbar. And I can just hit that down arrow and see these are the things that I can add. See, everything with the check mark is already on there, right? Email, save, open, new, etc. But let's say I wanted a quick print button. I can just click this and it adds the quick print button there. If I want to take something off, let's say I don't want the undo and redo buttons up there. Actually, I do want to keep those though. Let's say I want to take off print preview and all these print ones here. I don't want to use those up there. So I just click it, it takes it off, come back, get rid of quick print, and I want to get rid of the open one. So this is the open one. So watch when I hit open, it's going to delete this folder here. Okay. So you can customize your quick access toolbar here at the top. Yep. Okay. Okay. So as you go down the tabs, by the way, notice that you get a different, and this is what we call a ribbon. So when I'm on the home tab, this is my ribbon here. All of the options that come up when I hit home tab are the ribbon. So this is the ribbon for home. Well, if I go to insert tab, this is the ribbon for inserting. If I go to design, this is the ribbon for designing. Okay. Let's go look at layout for a second. So layout is pretty cool because you have some things here in layout that are very useful. So we've all seen documents that look like this, right? So if you look at my document, it's longer going up and down than it is wide, right? So this is what we would call portrait mode. So this document is in portrait mode right now. When you take a selfie, for instance, normally your phone is up and down, and it's longer up and down than it is wide. But another option, and you can find it here under orientation. And again, we're under the layout tab. Under orientation, we can come here and do landscape and watch what it does. So you see here, and I'm zoomed out a little bit, but you see here that now the page is wider than it is long. So when you're making PowerPoint presentations, or even sometimes if you're making a flyer, maybe you want it to be wider than you want it to be long. And that's when you would use this different orientation and go into landscape, again, which is wider. If we go back to portrait, you're going to see that it then becomes longer up and down than it is wide. Any questions about that? Has anyone ever used the orientation to make things in portrait or in landscape? Or at least you've seen it, correct? You ever seen that?
Yeah, I've seen that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you might need to increase the size of on like printing out an information or documents through the photocopy machine. So you're gonna need the size of the paper larger than the normal size. I've written something like that.
It, if you wanted to do what?
Like you want to print out a document through
Uh-huh.
the printer. So you're gonna look for a paper that's gonna, wider than the normal size, 4A paper. That is the 4A size.
Yes, yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes, for
That
sure.
was something
Yes.
like that.
Normally, yeah, for sure. So normally right now, a normal size piece of paper is
Yeah.
8.5 wide So 8.5 wide by 11 long. Okay. So this, what we're looking at right now, on a real piece of paper, I'll turn on my screen for a second, right?
Okay.
So a real piece of paper like this is 8.5 wide and it's 11 long. If you turn it sideways, it's still the same piece of paper, but now it's 11 wide and it's 8.5 deep, right? There are other types of pieces of paper, right? Legal documents often are on a longer document. That's what we call A4. I believe it's 14 inches long. But our standard piece of paper is going to be 8.5 by 11. Okay. And you should be able to print. Yeah, if you have a printer that has normal pieces of paper, you should be able to print things in portrait or landscape just fine. You shouldn't have to change out your paper. Now, of course,
Okay.
if you want to print a legal document, you would have to get the bigger paper, and then you would have to tell the computer that you're printing on that larger document. But that's again for another lesson. We'll have a lesson on that and how you can do that on bigger pieces of paper and so forth. And you can even do smaller pieces of paper too. You can print labels. So if anyone's ever done like mailing to 100 people, you don't want to have to write 100 times maybe your return address on the letter. So you can print labels that'll print your address onto little sticky labels, and then you just peel it off and you stick it onto the envelope, and all of those return addresses are easy. And there's all kinds of stuff you can do to, even if you have like a list of people that you want to send mail to on your computer, you can even print labels
Mhm.
using Microsoft Word, which is a really nice function also.
All right, thank you.
All right, you're welcome. Okay, quick review here. So looking at my screen, when I come here to new, there's a couple different things here that I can do. What are the options for creating new? So you can make a new one of these, or you can use one of these. What are these called here? Where my mouse is? What do we call these again?
Templates.
Yeah, template, right. And templates are used to make your life easier. Don't make your life complicated. Keep things easy. Most things that you're going to do, there's already a template for. And then, of course, we have our blank documents. And then when I go to open, what are these things here? What are these?
Uh, Windows. Okay.
Uh, these are
Tasks.
these are documents that I've previously worked on, and so
Okay.
today, for instance, so you see this says today, I've opened all of these Microsoft Word documents on my computer today. If I go back to this week, these are the ones I've opened up this week
Mhm.
and then last week. So this is actually really nice because sometimes you opened up something like a week ago, and instead of having to go back and find out where it's located on your computer, you can just come here to File and Open
Okay.
and go back and say, oh yeah, last week, oh yeah, that here's the August 2024. You click it, and there's that calendar that I was working on, right? So it just makes things easy to find when it keeps it all organized there for you. Okay. I think that's mainly what we wanted to cover today. So just to, again, a quick review, who remembers what we call this area up here?
Quick access.
Quick access toolbar. Yep. And
Right.
what do we call these here? Home, insert, draw. What do we call those?
Call tab.
Tabs. Yep.
Yeah.
And then when you click a tab, it opens up what? What is this big area that opens up? When you open up the
Ribbon.
home,
Ribbon.
you're getting the ribbon. Exactly. How do we zoom in and out? Anybody remember that?
Yeah, you could go through the toggle boarding, or
Uh-huh. Yep.
yeah, or you could
You can
use
do that.
you use the cursor
Or you can
to
use this
enlarge
too.
it or to take it to
Hmm.
anywhere of the space.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, a quick shortcut if you are on a computer and you don't want to necessarily come down here to find this, you can also hold down the control button and you can scroll. So on your mouse, you have your two fingers that have the two buttons, but in between there's a wheel. There's a wheel on your mouse if you have a normal mouse. If you hold down control on your keyboard and you wheel that mouse back towards you, it zooms out. If I hold down control and I move that wheel away from me, it zooms in. So that's also a nice little shortcut there. Okay. Okay.
Can you repeat the shortcut?
Yes. So on your keyboard, you would hold down the control button, which is in the bottom left. Hold down control, and notice my cursor is not moving. So hold down control, and I roll the mouse back towards me. There's that wheel that's in between the two buttons on your mouse. Let me show you here. I'll turn on my video for a second. So you see the mouse here? So you see I have my two fingers here, but if I hold down control and I roll the mouse away from me, let me get my mouse onto the document. If I hold down control and I move this mouse away from me, it zooms out. If I hold down control and I move the mouse towards me, then it zooms in. Okay. So that's the shortcut for zooming in and out, where you don't have to come down here and find this zoom button and things like that. Yeah, I use that all the time. It's actually the quickest way to zoom in and out. You don't have to move your mouse over here and do this. You don't have to resize it. You can just do it really quick. In and out, in and out, in and out, right? Get a little dizzy doing that. Okay. And then how do we make our window? So our window is this size right now. How would I shrink it wide and tall? How would I just bring it down and make it much smaller? Who remembers how to do that?
Yeah, I think you're gonna use the cruise on through the mouse to shrink it down or shrink it anywhere of the screen.
Yeah, so when I move my mouse to the edge, right,
Mhm.
I get this double kind of pointer, and then I can click and hold, and then I can move. I can kind of make that bigger. I can make it smaller. I can play with it until I get it the size that I want it to be. Perfect. Okay. Let's see here. I'm just kind of looking through a couple different things to see what we want to do next. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and move that down and we'll just do a little bit of a group review. If you answer a question, then let's leave a little bit of time for the next person to answer the next one. Is there a WhatsApp group I can join so I don't miss out? Yeah, guys, if anyone here is not on the WhatsApp group, you can either put your phone number in the chat, just in the group chat for everyone to see, or you can direct message in the chat that we're in Zoom right now to Io, is Ayodele. You can just direct chat him your phone number and he'll get you added to the WhatsApp group. That way you don't miss anything. Okay. All right. That is our primary way of communicating. So yes, I do want to make sure that you have opportunity to get involved in that. All right. So let's do a review here. So follow the directions below, find and label the different parts of a word window. So who can tell me, find the tab to change text words in a document and write A. So who can tell me like which tab do we use to change font? In this case, they call it text and words, but we know it as font. Which tab do we use to do that?
The ribbon tag.
So which tab? So these are our tabs, right? Home, insert, draw, design and layout, etc. So which tab has the place where you can change your font size, your color? Which tab do we use for that?
Home.
Boom.
Yes, exactly. Home. I'll just go ahead and circle it there. Home, right? Perfect. And then, of course, we know this is where we can change our font name, which is going to give us different looking fonts. We have a size. We could also use these buttons to increase the size right there. Perfect. All right. Somebody else, find and circle. So where is the quick access toolbar and what does it do?
Mm.
Where's our quick access toolbar and what does it do?
Oh, it's at the top of the we have the likes of undo, uh
Yeah.
save auto and all
Yep.
that.
So you guys can hopefully see me circling it. Yeah, so this is where your quick access toolbar is. No matter where you're at in Microsoft Word, this will always be here at the top. So you can always hit the save button. You can always hit the home button or print. If you want to customize it, we know that you can use these three dots here, and you can remove some of these buttons, or you can add some additional buttons. Okay, perfect. Great job. Which tab would we use to insert new items into the document? Let's say we wanted to add a photo, for instance. Which tab would we use to insert a photo? So our tabs are, again, our home, insert, draw, design, layout, reference, etc. Which one would we want to use in
Insert.
question 3?
Insert.
Yeah, insert. Yeah. They kind of gave that one a little easier. Insert right there. So I'll pull up my Microsoft Word again. And as we see, when I added the photo, same thing, right? So we can go to insert, photo, online, photo, and let's just do one more example. If this catches up, let's say we want to do animals, and I just add a bird or something, right? There you go. Got a cool bird. I'm going to shrink that photo down because it's big.
Beautiful.
Yeah, that is a cool bird. All right, great. You guys are rocking it. So number 4, find a tab that checks your grammar and your spelling. So we didn't go through this, but what are you guys' thoughts? You guys know where the tabs are. Which tab do you think would be a place where you might have an option to check your spelling and your grammar? I actually use this one quite a bit.
Review.
Review.
Review, maybe. Let's open up my Microsoft Word and go take a look. So under review, yeah, spelling and grammar. There you go. You guys got it. Under
Mm-hmm.
review. Yep, spelling and grammar. I actually use that a lot. I'm really good with spreadsheets and numbers and things, but boy, spelling, like writing, is not my favorite thing to do. So I actually use that function quite a bit. In today's world, honestly, as you're writing, oftentimes it'll even pick up that stuff. So as you're writing, it will highlight little grammar mistakes that you might make, and it'll give you a heads up. Hey, this doesn't look right. Please go back and review this. Okay. Number 5. Which tab do we use to change the direction and the size of the document? So remember, we changed it from portrait to landscape and then back and forth. Which tab did we use to do that?
Layout.
Exactly, layout. Yep, layout. So again, I'll just show you all. So again, here under layout, I'll zoom out using my control minus and my control plus on my mouse. So layout and then landscape, and it switches it to landscape. Exactly. Perfect. And then finally, find the underline ribbon. So in the ribbon, which button here in this area would we use to underline text? Yeah, this one right here. And anytime you want to do something to text, let me just bring up Word. Anytime you want to do something to text, you have to highlight that text first, right? So if I want to underline all of this, I have to highlight the whole thing. Well, let's say this one. Let's say this welcome to digital navigation in yellow, right? So if I want to underline that whole thing, I have to highlight the whole thing first to tell it what I want it to edit. And then I come up here and hit underline and notice that it underlines it. Now, if I only select half of this and I hit underline again, it's only going to remove the underline on that half. So most of these buttons up here, the B for bold, the I for italics, and the U for underline, these are also toggle buttons. So if something's already underlined and you come up here and hit the U, it's going to remove the underline. If you, again, if it's not underlined and you highlight it and you hit the U, it adds the underline. So that's specific for these 3 right here. A lot of toggle buttons here. Again, if I didn't want navigation to be bold, I can come up here and make it bold. This font doesn't really show bold really because it's already in bold. Let's say this one here. Let's say I wanted to make navigation bold here. Hit B. It does a little bit. It's not, again, a big difference. Let's look at this one here. See, that one made quite a difference on that one, right? When we went bold. So you can play around with these fonts, and these colors are fantastic to play with. In a professional document, you wouldn't have a lot of color, but you would definitely, let's just actually open up one really quick. Let's say we did a resume. So a normal resume is going to look something like this, right? You're going to have big letters at the top. It's going to have your name and really nice and bold so that when hiring managers are going through resumes, they're like, oh, this, I see this one. This is Eric Hunter. And then they have the rest of your information, your experience, your education, your skills, etc. But notice how they use colors and fonts to make things stand out, right? Here they have your LinkedIn profiles. They're in a different color. Your experience, they kind of have it, it's kind of offset here. So it stands out that this is your experience, and everything that falls under here is your experience. You have a section for education, a section for skills. And so as we develop our class and our skills, we'll get to building stuff like this out. But I just wanted to show you like how they use, different size fonts, even different colors, to make things in your documents stand out.